blueprint.
Yeah, like a blueprint. Right. Right.
And then if they see the blueprint, they don't know how to read it.
Or we're given the default blueprint. We reading I don't even know. We're not even reading the blueprint. We're reading
we're not connected to. We don't know how to read our blueprint. Is what I'm saying.
Right. Well, we can. It's not that you can't. It's not.
We don't know how. If we don't know how to do it, if we can't be resourceful, if we don't know that there's help there, we can't receive the help.
Right.
If we don't know things are available to us, we can't accept those things to help us or to be in our space, in our reality. So, you know what I mean? That's why it's important they taught us how to quote unquote read. But they taught us how to read outside of ourselves. Whereas innately, we knew how to read through our blueprint. We knew how to read the sun, read the stars, read the animals, read the wind. You know what I mean? Before it was ABCD 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so when that was established, the ABCD 1, 2, 3, that's establishing an outside reading. When we're moving with the ways of the land, and we're living off of our intuition and our inner nature, our inner blueprint, we're reading the we're reading the inner blueprints of all that is around us. We lost that ability when there was a third party of an extra trying to compute. You know what I mean? Trying to read something outside of ourselves to get us disconnected from our intuition. Our innate ability to sense and read energy.
What are you gonna make?
The DNA and the essence and energy signatures of what exists before us. Imagine if this is like a computer, right? And we're seeing things as its makeup, not the finished product. So if I'm building something,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're like.
Right? It's like movies and stuff like that too, like those animated things. You don't. You see the movie that you're seeing broadcasted is the finished product, but you don't see how it's actually put together. And so we lost the connection. We got disconnected from the ability to see and read those makeups, to see and read those symbols and those energetic vibrations and signatures. Because now our focus and our vision is fine-tuned to only focus on these written symbols, these other symbols that's created this new system. So it makes us disconnect from our original system and reconnect to a new system, which causes distortion, because when we disconnect from our original system, now we're missing things. You know what I mean? We're not operating from our original system. So now that's going to have some type of incomplete effect. So now this whole cycle of life, or this lesson, spirituality, whatever, Earth School is helping us to be able to see how to reconnect, come back to wholesomeness, come back to that mother, father, child system, come back to that intuitive, vibrational, universal language, and have the ability to read energy. But when we're desensitized, we cannot read energy because we can't feel. We must feel the vibration. It's like it's a system. It's like bats. You know what I mean? Like they can't see. They go off of like the echo sonar, like that. You know what I mean? Like the bats go off of like this type of projection. It's like a vibratory connection and sound waves, feeling, sensitivity. These are all of the natural things that we already have access to inside of us, but we get disconnected because of the focus and attention. My people shall perish and suffer from lack of proper knowledge, right? So we're over here focusing on symbols and signatures that's man-made given to us, taking our view away from the innate, original synchronicities and signs and energetic signatures. So we must come back to education of thyself and remember where to focus. The divine has been telling me focus is key. It's so funny. I'm gonna tell you this quick story. So I went to the beach. I was pulled and guided to go to the beach. I just felt that I needed to go, and everything just wasn't going as I planned it to go that day. And it was nightfall by that time, and I go to a certain spot in the beach regularly, but I was guided to go somewhere else this time, and it was kind of like it was like in the cut or whatever. But I pull over and I go to this area. I sit down on the stairs and I observe other things, but that's not the main focus of this story. But then so I witness a young female walking up with her dog, and I noticed her, right? And in my own system, what I was going through at that time, I'm sitting on the stairs, and I wanted to take off my shoes so I can stick my feet into the sand and connect and recharge, with nature. And so I seen her coming up, but when I seen her coming up, I didn't take the time to gather myself, all of my energy back into my body. I kind of just got up and I seen her coming, and I allowed that to move me. I took my shoes off real quick, and I got up. And so I walked down the stairs, and as I made it down to the bottom of the stairs, she made it to the area where I was sitting at of the stairs. And then she was like, "Oh, excuse me, you left your keys. You're going to need these." And these were the car keys that I was driving. And I was like, "Oh my God." I came back, I walked up to her, and I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. You're an earth angel." Right? And then I was like, okay, then that was that. And I went back downstairs, and she can continue going on upstairs. I walked down to the sand, and I asked Spirit my intentions were to connect, to really soulfully be present, connect with my soul, and be fully present. So then I started to breathe, and I started to feel, it was a beautiful night too. Like, the wind was very still. It was like warm, but it was dark. And I was sitting on the sand, and I started to breathe. And then I just felt more in sync and more in harmony. Like, I felt very calm and very centered. And then I started to do yoga and move my body and just connect more and be fully present, not allow any thoughts of...
Hello, Moto.
Oh, hold on 1 second, y'all. Peace. Welcome back to the podcast. Okay, so 1 second. I'm telling this. I'm completing this story.
Because I can't move around myself.
Okay, you good. Okay, so I was saying that I started to breathe, and I started to do yoga, and I felt very present and connected to source. And then as I sat down, I just started smiling and being thankful and grateful to be able to not worry about anything else that was going on besides the present moment. And then so I'm doing this podcast. 1 second, Kim. Yes, you can. You might want to use. There's other highlighters downstairs in the back room. Other colors that you can use as well. Okay, and then so yes, I just acknowledged that, and I was able to be like, okay, nothing else exists in this moment, but right now. So nothing else should be creeping through into my system. No negative thoughts, no worry about what I gotta do, this and this and that. None of that is existing in this moment of right now, because this is the present moment, right? So then I sat into that awareness, and I just became still, and then I felt very centered and calm and collected in my spirit and my soul. Then I witnessed her, the lady that I was spoken about earlier about the keys. I seen her with her dog coming back down the stairs. I noticed that. And then I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, that's interesting. At first I was like, is that her? And I was like, okay, that do look like her. So then she started to come closer. And then she walked up to me. She was like, wow, this is irony. Like, I helped you find your keys, and now my keys are missing. And I was like, what the? Oh my God. Okay, come on, I didn't hesitate at all. I was like, all right, come on. Let's find these keys. I'm going to help you find these keys right now. And then she was like, okay. She was like frazzled a little bit. Razzle dazzle. But that's how we be in moments like that. And then so, because I'm sure I would have been like that too if I recognized that I didn't have them keys. So then, but anyway, before we began to look for the keys, I suggested that she, 444 on the clock, Ashayo. I suggested that she take a breath with me and breathe with me, and to stabilize her energy, because there was no way that she was going to find any keys in a frantic, dismantled, or like an anxious state. You're gonna push whatever you want away from you because you're just so anxious that you can't even, you know what I mean? You can't even receive. And so I was letting her know, okay, like, all right, let's breathe and calm ourselves down, because and recenter our energy and tap into our feminine energy and be receptive and tap in that state of receptivity and draw in what it is that you need in this moment of now. You need these keys, so let's draw it in, and we're only going to accept this reality to be true, that we drawing in these keys. And then I said a little something. I was like, okay, all right, keys, come to me, please, at ease, with ease. And then, okay, we recalibrate our energy. We breathed together. Then we started to walk. And then we looked around for a little bit. But then she looked up. She was like, oh, well, maybe my keys are up there by that bench up there, because I did sit down over there. And that was where I was sitting at. And she highlighted that. And I was like, I was like, okay, well, come on, let's go then. And we stopped right in the middle of our tracks as she said that. And then we walked straight, and the keys, she was like, oh my God, Venus. She looked down, and the keys was right at her feet. And I feel like, I was just like, oh my God, what? Like, we looked down, it was just right there at her feet. And she was like, oh my God, you're the real earth angel. And basically, yes, that's interesting. I feel that it's just very interesting how that situation that happened, and how something about the keys. What was I saying about the keys? So the keys, dang, y'all, I'm not gonna lose it. It's here still. But basically, I feel like coming back to me. Focus. There we go. See? All of these things happen for a reason. Even the phone call, even, just like the phone hanging up from doing the podcast, and from people talking in the background, and my son coming in asking for a highlighter. All of those things, whether it's negative or positive, it's still, for me to do this podcast right now and to communicate with y'all about this story or anything, there has to be a certain level of focus. Your focus and attention and awareness. And so I feel like I didn't allow myself to have my focus, to bring all my focus and attention and awareness back into myself before I made a move to move down them stairs. I seen her coming, and then I was just like, oh shit, let me move out the way. But why? We must give ourselves time to integrate into the next movement of our scenes, of our stories, or else we'll forget pieces of ourselves back in the past scene and don't bring our full energy, full focus, full soul, full self into the next creation, the next scene of our creation, of our stories. So the divine was telling me, the message that keeps coming up is focus is key. Your focus is the key. The key is focus. Where is your focus at? What are you focusing on? How can we be able to be fully present if we're focused on the past or we're focused on the future? How can we create the next moments of our lives in the best alignment for ourselves if our focus isn't focused in on the present moment? Right? I was able to help her locate her keys because I took the time to come back into focus. My inner focus. So that's what I learned, and I really appreciate you all tuning in. Like, subscribe, share this video. Tap in with me if you would like to have an Education of Thyself session with me. It will help to stabilize your focus on what is important, your purpose, who you are. It will help to highlight what is the focus, right? Sometimes you'll be like, well, what should I focus on? There's so many things to focus on. And the education of thyself will help you focus on all the necessary things in the necessary timing. To focus on what's important in front of you right now. And make the steps and moves accordingly. So I shade to the distractions because it gives us the opportunity for us to exercise and practice our focus. Right? Put our focus in practice. So I appreciate y'all all tuning in with me. Hit me up at venussublime333@gmail.com to book and schedule Education of Thyself session with me. Hit me up on IG, Venus Sublime, to see other content, unorthodox information and wisdom from your goddess, Venus Sublime, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Peace, love, and light in integrated darkness. Don't be afraid of yourself. Tap in. Ashe, y'all. You think about life differently, you will shift your present reality. What you see is what will be gravity. Holistic melanated living families will drive out the mindless calamities. It's all about perspective, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me, Yeah, ooh, why you hating? Why you hating on me? Cause I be a reflection of thee.